G'day, Raya. How's it going?
Long time no see, Andy.
This whole new journey from Wengie to Raya. First of all, can you tell us a bit about it, about the process and about this new journey?
So I've been thinking about kind of changing my name for a while, mainly because Wengie was kind of like, I wouldn't say it was an accident, but it wasn't really thought out because I didn't really know what would have happened with it. In fact, Wengie was just like my nickname growing up. So I didn't really think too much about it when I started my YouTube channel with like literally no followers. Um, and Wengie grew to this huge thing and it had a very specific kind of purpose. It was a very YouTube based kind of name and brand and character per se. And it was me, part of me, but it's only like literally one side of me. And when I started doing music, and I had a lot of fun doing Wengie music, which was Wengie released a whole bunch of songs. In the past 2, 3 years, which some of them were really catchy and great. But I felt really limited creatively by the Wengie brand that has been built for the past, literally 8 to 9 years, which is crazy, like how long I've been on YouTube. I think about it sometimes and I'm like, that's like some people's whole lives, that I've been on YouTube. And yeah, so I thought it was time to take the plunge. I think the pandemic gave me tons of time to really, reflect and think about what I wanted in life. So I was like, might as well take the plunge and change my name, start afresh, and do what I want creatively, like with a clean slate. So I could do anything I want without people going, wait, this doesn't suit Wengie, you know? So we came up with WRAYA. And the process of coming up with an artist name is actually pretty difficult these days. If you wanted to use your own name, I feel like that's like very, very simple. But I like the idea of having an alter ego and having a stage name because you get to, for me, like the performing me is not me as a person, and I don't want them to be the same. Also, I feel like if you like get hate or canceled or whatever online and people say things about your artist work, you don't take it so personally if you do make it an alter ego. But I feel like that's like a personal choice for every single artist, every single entertainer. So me, I really wanted to come up with the alter ego so I could be like removing myself and doing also what I want creatively with WRAYA without thinking that it's like, I have to be like that as a person, because as a person, I'm very introverted and quiet and very simple. So yeah, coming up with the artist name these days is not easy because you can't take a name someone else has taken. So you just kind of have to be like, okay, we had like a list of 2 pages of names, and we're like, okay, all of these, which ones do we like? These are all the ones we haven't seen anyone use yet. And then it was just a process of going through and like seeing which one really felt like me, And Rhea was one of the ones where I'm just like, I love the sound of the name. Obviously, it starts with W, which ties in with all the other personas I've created online, and Rhea was born.
What were some of the other names that were in the mix that nearly made the final cut?
Oh, well, for me, it's like there's a few. There were some really weird sounding names like Astra. Um, and I was like, it makes me sound like a warrior princess almost. I'm like, maybe not Astra. There were some names that, I'm just like, questionable. But the ones we narrowed it down were Wren. I really like the name Wren. It's actually a songbird as well. And Ren was taken though, so that was the issue. We had Ray, WRAE. That was a close one. So that's like that's where Raya was born from.
Well, I think Ray is perfect for where you're headed, especially with the new song Bitter, which comes out June 24th. So what's been the process of creating Bitter? I know it's a different feel and it's very catchy from what I've heard.
Yeah, so there's some previews online on my TikTok and things like that. So the process of creating Bitter was pretty, I mean, it flowed so organically. I think one of the things that the reason why I changed my name a lot as well is a lot of my YouTube comments were like, hey, Wengie, you've changed. And of course I've changed. Everyone changes. But I feel like when you're online and you have a very strong like personality that people identify with, when you change, they get shocked. They're like, no, you don't live in the real world where you normally change. Even though I've personally changed in the past like 8 years, like you're not allowed to. And I just felt really trapped by that, but I didn't want to make that make me bitter, you know? Like let's not be bitter about the comments. Let's not be bitter about like all that kind of stuff. Let's start afresh, and just do a better job. So bitter just came organically. It was very, I guess, like it was very appropriate for the situation I was in. And in terms of like the production and the writing, I had a really great bunch of writers with me and a really great producer that has worked with so many big names in Hollywood, like Selena Gomez, Peter Thomas. So he was really good. And we had like a meeting, and it was like, what kind of vision did you want? And I really wanted a cool, like, I wanted a song that felt like it had space, like had some three dimensions. So when you listen to the production, I love the sound. It just takes me to another place, another space. And yeah, I think it's just like one of my best songs yet. I really wanted to. The reason why I wanted to change to Raya was is also to focus on the music, so people aren't caught up in like, you know, I need to listen to it just because I'm Wengie's fan. I wanted people to listen to the song as a song and then make their own judgment as to whether they like it or not. So I'm giving myself a new challenge with that. And I hope you guys like bitter. And if there's anything in your life that has made you bitter, I'm sure, you know, if you've lived, there is. Uh, don't let it take you down. Let it make you better. That's, yeah. The lyric is being bitter won't make you better. So. And plus, you can't have sweet without the sour. So you got to have those moments sometimes, you know.
Would Wengie in real life be bitter about Raya taking over the spotlight, you know?
No, of course not. No, when she's lovely. She's like a unicorn princess. What are you talking about? She's always happy. Gosh. No, yeah, no, she's not. She's very excited. You know, Wengie has her, 14 million fans on YouTube. So like she shouldn't be jealous. Like she got her own fans.
Well, will we see more Wengie music in the future though?
You know what? I have a ton of unreleased tracks that has piled up under Wengie, and some music videos I filmed that may never see the light of day. I have like three music videos that I haven't released under Wengie. So who knows? Maybe you're gonna have a unreleased moment later on to reminisce. But so far, Raya's taking the spotlight right now. I am taking the spotlight right now.
Wengie collaborated with, G Idol's Mini. Will Raya see some of these collaborations in the future?
So Raya, I mean, she's open to collabing. She's had some conversations with another K-pop idol. Not gonna say who at the moment. So it is on the cards, perhaps. But Raya is gonna focus on establishing herself first in the beginning. But who knows? I think Raya would love to explore some collaborations. I'd love to hear who people want Raya to collaborate with.
In regards to Raya music, where do you get your inspiration from?
So I grew up with a lot of 90s R&B and hip hop. I love R&B as a category. It is vocally more challenging to sing for me than other genres. So, I mean, even though I love it, it's just like I need some time to continue working on, practicing my vocals and things like that. So I want, it's probably more pop inspired by R&B, but what's really fun about the first EP is we're trying so many different styles. So I have 6 songs on the EP that's going to be coming out later this year, and we've recorded all of them already, and each of them have a very different vibe and a very different genre and a very different style. So Raya is just kind of working on what she wants right now and what her fans and audience are receptive to. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, but we're trying a whole bunch of different things that are very, very different. So I'm very excited.
Definitely looking forward to it. Oh, I mean, on that note, does Raya have a fandom name yet? Because I know there's Wengicorns, so will there be Raya fandom name?
I'm getting my fans to come up with that. So if you guys want to help come up with the fandom name, there's a video, Raya Q&A, where I ask people what fandom name they want me to have, and I'm just gonna look through and see what the fans want and what I want, because I think it's a shared name for us. You guys get to pick what you want to be called, not me. So I'd love to hear the suggestions, and then we can come up with them together.
On that, I did a bit of a Google search, and according to the Google dictionary search, Raya means quick-minded and never at a loss for words. When you're feeling relaxed and cheerful, you can be very charming. I mean, is that right? Are we on the right track here?
I do talk a lot, as you may have noticed. You would ask me one question. If you want to be here for the whole day, I can give you a 24-hour answer if you'd like. So definitely the first part is true. The second part, in terms of being relaxed and charming when I'm relaxed, I don't feel like I'm that charming when I'm relaxed, because most likely I'm lying in bed with a packet of chips and it's not charming at all. So I'm gonna try and be charming when I'm relaxed. If you guys find that charming, sure. But like, yeah, I don't know. Who's charming when they're relaxed? I feel like I'm just like a bit of a slob sometimes, you know?
That's charming in some ways, you know. Yeah, it's a...
Yeah. You know, if you like the whole anime vibe where like, you know, the girl has a piece of rice on her cheek when she's eating, yeah, that's my kind of charming.
Nice. Well, you touched on this a little bit before, but what are some of the other challenges of becoming WRAYA over, you know, the last year and a bit during the pandemic, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, I guess the biggest challenge for WRAYA was, I mean, when I was talking to my team about it, obviously I've been working with my team for a long time that, you know, helps with Wengie and all that kind of stuff. The hesitation is coming up with a new name is, one, alienating your whole entire fan base that you've created, and two, like reestablishing the brand as well, because we spent so long, and I spent so long building Wengie up and letting people know who Wengie was. So that was like the biggest challenge for me in terms of like creating the brand. I found that more exciting than challenging, you know, coming up with the logo, coming up with the name, coming up with the concepts. Like that to me is like fun. And I got to work with a creative director, Graham, and he did the latest, he worked on the latest album for Doja Cat as well. So he's very, very experienced with this stuff. He's worked with many other big artists as well. There's like TLC, one of my favorites. He's worked with a whole bunch of others. I mean, there's so many on his portfolio, but it was in good hands, and he really helped me kind of come up with the concept and basically translate the concept. Because for me, it's like I have an idea of what I want, but how that like truly translates in, you know, each asset, each image, each text, each logo. He was helping with that. So in terms of like challenge, it wasn't like too much of a challenge. It was more like an internal mental challenge of like, how am I going to accept this change? How am I going to navigate communicating with, you know, all my fans and letting them know what this is so they're not confused. Update, I failed. They're very confused. So didn't do that very well. But I'm hoping they're going to give me time to slowly work out, you know, and communicate who WRAYA is and what she's doing. So I'm just going to be patient and be forgiving for myself for this process, because I've never really seen anyone do it before. I don't have any friends that have done it, and it's just like a whole new thing. So in terms of like challenges, just more emotional challenges and trying to wrap my head around all the things that may or may not happen. But so far I've had a lot of fun. I've felt like completely like it was a freeing experience to come out with WRAYA, starting a new clean slate. Getting to know people. I think I just really love working on small projects where I feel like it's a bit more intimate and there's like less people involved and I'm talking directly to people. I'm getting that feeling again with WRAYA, and it's been really refreshing for me.
In terms of the concept shoots that you were talking about earlier, I've noticed that there is a snake on your face and on your body. Like, what's the go there? There was a snake on you.
Oh my gosh, that snake was so lovely. Like I honestly was a little bit nervous. The story behind that was really funny. So we filmed that that clip, which was actually supposed to be part of a music video for a Wengie song that's like unreleased. But we may or may not release it. But I was like, oh, the footage is so nice, I wanted to use it. But anyways, the story was we were shooting that music video ourselves. I literally just Googled like where to get a snake, and then found a number of a snake charmer that was here. So I just texted him and I was like, hey, I need a snake. Can you bring your snake like on Tuesday? And he was like, yeah, I'll bring it. What time? Like where? Tell me. And I'm like, okay, this time, this place, come. And he literally just turned up with a basket that holds his like snake. And he was always like, which snake do you want? He has like multiple snakes. I was like, your biggest one. Give me your biggest, like brightest snake. And so he brought this yellow, huge snake. And like at first I was really nervous because like it's really intimidating to see like a giant snake. But when you like feel the snake, oh, his skin was like the softest leather. Like I was like touching his body. I was like, oh, this is like warm. So imagine like the highest quality like leather bag, but warm, and it's like really nice. And I was like, oh, he felt so heavenly. Actually, in the end, I felt like I loved him more than he loved me. I was like putting him on my face, and he was like trying to like slither away, like I don't want to work today. I want to like go nap. And I'm like, no, come back here. I was like putting him on my face again. And he's like, no, I don't want to do this. I want to go. And yeah, I think he was more scared of me than I was him in the end. And I really enjoyed it. He was really sweet and really docile and really kind. So I have a whole new perspective of snakes now.
I hope Coco approves. Coco's your cat.
Yeah. I feel like him and Cook, I don't want them to mate actually. But Coco's just as soft when I put him on my face. Yeah, I'd like to put my cat on my face. They're just very, very fluffy.
This is a question I've asked Wengie before. What would you do in a zombie apocalypse?
Oh, I would. Honestly, I feel like if I was stuck in a zombie apocalypse, I would be like the first person to like start leading, grabbing a gun, shooting things. I feel like I have very good survival instincts. Like normally I'm like really useless as a person. But when like something happens and adrenaline kicks in, I'm like on point. Like, in the beginning of the pandemic, I remember like the first thing I did wasn't panic. It was like buy all the toilet paper, buy some beans, create a bomb shelter, like be prepared. I'm still eating the beans that I bought from the pandemic like 2 years ago. So it didn't end up occurring, but I feel like I'd just be very prepared as a person.
Back to WRAYA talents. Can you tell us a bit about maybe a hidden talent that you might have?
You know what? I don't have many talents, so I haven't hid them. When you don't have many talents, you don't have like the luxury of hiding it. You know what? I would say I have a really good talent of being annoying. Actually, that's probably hidden because I've not tried to be annoying online to people. I've tried to be on my best behavior, but I can be so annoying. I can annoy you for hours. And even if you ignore me, even if you try not to pay attention to me, thinking I'm going away, I don't give up. Ask my partner Max. He's just like, is your sole purpose in life to annoy me? I'm like, yep, that's my sole purpose. So I'll just like rock up into his room and like start twerking and like, whatever. And he'll try and ignore me, but I just like won't stop until he reacts or something or tells me to go away. And then I'll be like, okay.
Let's chat about some of the music that you might be listening to lately. Like, what music playlists do you have on your phone? Like,
Actually, just before this, I was getting ready and I was like getting the vibes. I'm listening to really old school. I was in a really throwback mode and I was digging up the Justin Timberlake album with Timbaland and Nelly Furtado and Madonna and all that. And that was so cool. Like that was such a vibe. It was such a good time in my life too. So I really like going down like memory lane playlists. So that's what I've been listening to. There's some times where I would dig up some J Chow. J Chow playlists are always classic and put me in like such a great mood. But in terms of like current music, I'm listening to Ariana Grande. Obviously, I love Ariana Grande. Um, Olivia Rodrigo's her songs like Deja Vu, which I released a song called Deja Vu as well. So I stumbled onto her song called Deja Vu, which I love so much. Who else do I listen to? The Weeknd. I love The Weeknd. I love, I've been listening to like Jean Aiko. Is that how you say her name? She's like more like a Spotify-based artist, I think. I think that's what you would call her. I don't know what, but like Spotify recommends me all these songs and really into that right now. So yeah, variety of music, modern and flashbacks. So yeah, that's what I've been loving at the moment.
How about your dancing? I know that you've been posting some dancing stuff on your TikTok as well, and also bits and pieces of Bitter. Can you show us maybe a piece of choreography or one of your favorite dances as of late?
I can show you my favorite move at the club. So when I'm in the club, I have a favorite move, and it's the move I default to when I don't know what else I'm doing. It's a pump pump cross cross pump. Cross. So yeah, pump pump cross cross. Yeah, this is if you're stuck in a club, you don't know what you're doing. This is I could do this for hours. Just sit there no matter what. It goes to every song. Just find the beat. Yeah. That's my default club move.
When the pandemic is almost over, where would you love to tour?
I think I'd love to go back to the US for sure. I did a tour about 2-3 years ago in like 21 different cities around the US. Honestly, they were all a blur because I literally spent like one day in a lot of the cities because of the schedule that we had. But I would love to do that again. It was so much fun. And I feel like yeah, like it's just like so good to just meet the people behind the screen and see them in real life because I like no matter how many fans I have, I'm just like it doesn't feel real until you see them. So I would love to go around the US. I would love honestly a world tour because I just love traveling. I miss traveling so much. I love seeing new places. I love seeing new cultures. I love trying their food. You know, everywhere I'm going like what's your delicacy here? Like give me some. I need to try it. So yeah, honestly, I will go wherever, people want me to go. And I think, if you want me to turn up in your city, please support the music. Please let me know. Support the tickets if we ever go on tour. I know a lot of artists on our end. It's like sometimes as a new emerging artist, you don't know where your fans are. So it's a lot of testing and a lot of like, seeing if there's interest in the cities, and we will go to the cities that show interest. So that's like the most important thing. If you want me to turn up in your city, show interest, let me know that you want me there. And if there's enough people, I'm there. Like, I would love to travel and do tours everywhere. I'm prepared.
So stream it June 24th, Bitter. That's what people have to do.
Thank you. Thanks for the promotions. June 24th, please, guys. We can do this to the song if you would like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
WRAYA, please tell us if you have a message for Australian and New Zealand WRAYA fans.
Ooh, you know what? I miss Australia so much. And I hope I see you guys soon as well. Let me know if you want me to come on tour. I don't see Australia as a tour destination because I see it as home. So like to me, it's like going home. So please, I love to come home. Let me know if you want me to come home for you guys, and New Zealand as well. And I think stay safe. You guys have a beautiful country that I really miss. Enjoy it. Be grateful, and don't be bitter. Can't have sweet without the sour,
WRAYA, thank you so much for joining us. Wishing you all the best, and I'll catch you soon back in Australia.
Thank you. See you soon, Andy. We'll catch up for coffee when I come back.
Sounds good.
Yes.
And Trieu.